Today we're with Terry Byrne, our parish's volunteer historian, and we're in an area of the church that few parishioners have ever seen before, namely the vault. Terry, why is this room referred to as the vault?
Well, I think, Chris, it got that name because of the door that you go through to enter this room. The door is actually a bank vault door. You can see how thick it is, and it is quite heavy to open. Come ahead in.
Thanks, Terry. So, what exactly is it that we would keep in the vault?
Well, as mentioned in my previous video, we have our church records, and they're actually stored in another safe in the vault. As you can see down here, we have 36 books of records.
Now, do you plan to put anything else into the vault?
Well, besides what we have all the parish council minutes, finance council minutes, the bulletins, but we're also planning to put the photo album books that I told you we'd be putting together, as well as all our digital records.
Are there any other items related to the history of St. Joe's in the vault now that you've not mentioned in the previous videos?
Well, I think I mentioned it, but I never showed it to anybody, and that was the blueprints. And this is a blueprint from 1931 of the church that they were going to build, our present church. There are about 6 of these, and they've been laminated because, as you can see, over time they have been torn or wrinkled or whatever, so lamination allowed us to preserve them. In addition, we also have a series of items donated by parishioners over the years. For example, the ordination ceremony from 1936. A book written by one of the, not people from the parish, but an outside person about our magistrate, Martin O'Gara. And I was helping that woman put together this book. Then we have booklets on the oblate missions. And you know we were involved in parish schools. We had 3 or 4 of them over the years. Well, this is a book that dates back to a reunion from 1941. And also, we have a booklet on the second church of St. Joe's from 1893 and the opening ceremonies that was involved at that time. We also have a series of religious cards of priests who were ordained at St. Joe's back in the 1920s and 1930s, their first Mass, their Golden Jubilee, their Silver Jubilee, etc.
So, is this room actually suitable for storing these kinds of records?
I believe so, Chris. There are certain criteria for storing records. One of them is the humidity level has to be below 65%. And right now, our humidity level is at 48%. The other thing is that the temperature has to be below 23 degrees Celsius. And our temperature right now is 14 degrees Celsius. The other 2 things that come into play are there should be no water that can enter this part of the room. And no water has ever been part of this room as long as I've been around here. And the final thing is bugs. We don't want any bugs to get in and eat our records over the years, so it's fairly bug proof. I've never seen a spider web or any insects in this room. So yes, I think it's fairly safe for our records.
Now, as we near the end of this part of our series on history, do you have another anecdote you might be able to share with our parishioners?
This anecdote is related to Father Archie Daly. Father Archie Daly was a member of our parish as a young boy, and he went on to become an oblate priest. But back in 1930, when St. Joe's burnt down, he was out in the street watching the church burn down. And one of the priests came up to him and said, "Archie, have you ever thought of becoming a priest?" And he looked up at the priest as a young boy and he said, "Nah, Father, there's just no money in it."
That's quite a gem, I think, to keep for our parish. Thanks so much, Terry, for showing us the vault today. We're going to continue our series, and our next stop is going to be the parish tunnels. Thanks.